What was your life like right before you got into real estate?
Man, um, I had a small business with another partner.
Hmm.
We were on a cell phone repair business.
Cell phone repair
Cell
business.
phone repair, iPhones.
Like one of those iPhone cracked
When
deals?
the first iPhone, we started fixing when it was iPhone 4. So we
Okay.
started watching YouTube videos, and we have like a little repair shop in Mount Pleasant, Texas. And also we were selling and installing DirecTV and Dish.
Okay.
So that's what I was doing until one day I read Rich Dad Poor Dad, and everything changes for me.
That changes for everybody.
It's crazy,
So,
man.
but you were already an entrepreneur before you read the book.
Yes, I was already a business owner. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So normally when people read the book, it's like they were a W-2.
Yes, sir.
Light bulb goes off, and I can't do the W-2 thing anymore.
Mm-hmm.
You're already self-employed.
Mm-hmm.
So what was it about that book then that reached out to you?
Well, I think the main thing for me was when I read the book, it took me back to 2002 when I was living in Costa Rica. I had the opportunity to come to the United States for 7 months on like a work visa where you can kind of learn the language. So I got to stay with an American family in Manasquan, New Jersey.
Mm-hmm.
And they kind of helped me line up some jobs. But the guy that was living in the house, he was a retired fireman, and he was kind of flipping houses on the side.
Oh, really? Okay.
So, and but at that point, I knew I was going back to Costa Rica. You really can't do that in Costa Rica.
Mm-hmm.
So, but he would say, Pablo, get into real estate. It's better money. I'm a fireman. My wife is a secretary, and we live better than the neighbors. Real estate is good. Flip houses. And he just kind of put that on my mind.
Mm-hmm.
I came back to the States, really didn't know how to start it. So I started, my other business. And when I read the book, Rich Dad Poor Dad, it kind of became real. It's almost like I felt that I was in that story on 2002. And I was a man.
He was the rich dad.
Yes, I was a man. I can do this. It's really not that hard if you really know where to start,
Got it. Why were you in the cell phone repair business and the satellite business?
Because my first job in the United States, basically when I came, we got married. Me and my wife, we got married. I'm blessed. I have a beautiful wife and three little girls, right?
Yeah.
So when we got married in 2007, I had to wait for my driver's license. I have to wait so I can work and provide. So the first official job that I was able to get was as a training technician to install Dish and DirecTV.
Mm-hmm.
So I worked for a company as an in-house technician for 5 years. Well, 5 years later, I saw that the salespeople were making more money than the techs.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, man, I know how to install. I guess I learned I need to learn how to sell it.
Yeah.
So I applied for my DirecTV and Dish license. So I started my own little shop, but the sales were not as often. So I partnered with this guy and I said, man, we need to find a way to make more money.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, man, well, there's a guy fixing cell phones in Texarkana, and he's doing pretty good. And I was like, well, I guess we need to learn how to do that.
Yeah.
So we use our, family members' iPhones, and we start watching YouTube videos and start taking them apart and learn how to replace the screens. And before, after a lot of training and making a lot of mistakes,
Mm-hmm.
we were fixing computers, iPads, iPhones, and all that kind of stuff. So we were doing good, fixing cell phones and installing DirecTV and Dish. But the problem was it wasn't a business, it was a job.
Got it.
When you're fixing a device that is worth $1,000, it's hard to train someone that can make a mistake, right?
Mm-hmm.
So me and my buddy were basically taking turns in the shop and fixing, and then one will be outside installing DirecTV. So it was okay, but it was a job.
When did you read Rich Dad Poor Dad?
That was 5 years ago.
Was it?
5 years ago.
5 years ago?
Yes.
Got it. Okay. So 5 years ago, you decided to get into real estate.
Yeah. So this summer is going to be, right on that time, 5 years ago, I read the book. I'm working on the cell phone repair shop.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not having intentions to change anything. And this real estate broker comes in,
Mm-hmm.
very known in the town, one of the biggest brokers. And he said, man, I need you to fix this iPhone. Didn't think any of that. Gave me his business card. And I'm reading the book. So you know how it is. You finish the book, you're on fire. I need to buy something, right?
Yeah.
So I asked him, Michael, do you have anything for sale? I want to flip a house or I want to do something, but I want to get into real estate. He said, I don't have any houses, but I have an 8-unit apartment complex
Mm-hmm.
that I'll let it go for like $20,000 a door, like $160,000.
Wow.
And I was okay. And I keep kind of watching videos, and I see that everybody, when you get in real estate, you probably start with one house or one deal. I'm about to jump on an 8 apartment complex by myself, so I don't have all the money. So I tell my buddy, man, I'll sell you my half so I can pay for this deal. So what I got from him was just not enough. So I didn't tell my wife. I got some money from my credit card to be able to do that down payment. And yeah, and overnight I became a landlord, a maintenance guy, electrician, plumber, everything, because I took over this 8-unit apartment that it needed a lot of work.
Sure.
But there was a lot of potential on raising the rents. I knew that it could be make it really pretty, and it just
So
started to
you
work.
didn't